slowly, kind of like check to see what their reports and their blocks are, and see if the creators are, if these places were giving better feedback to their creators, then creators, if they were responsive and adapted their spaces to minimize harmful friction points, they might get higher visibility on being publicly safe instances, where the user interactions are actually designed to calm the body and calm the mind when the excitement gets turns potentially into real harm. So, a lot of the worlds that you see on the most popular list don't take into account velocity of the users coming in, a crowded spawn point, getting trapped in rooms that don't have exits, the size of the avatars and how they can crowd the space, the audio distance and how that travels, so that people might have to put themselves on earmuff mode, but that technically, isolates us from the rest of the room. And just inability to influence the space, and therefore a sense of invisibility. And that invisibility can give us permission for uh, erasure of sorts of others. Because if I'm invisible and you're invisible and we can't break the space or stain it or corrupt it, then anything I do to you is also invisible and pointless, and it's just a game. So the spaces teach us, in some respects, accidentally. I don't think anybody really comes in here. I dream of teaching people to disrespect each other. Sometimes maybe they think that playfully, but ultimately that's not how we were wired as humans. We want to create awe and joy and connection, and yet these worlds, they don't set that up very well, many of them. Yeah. That's my little rant to start us off. This is fun though. You're like my two favorite people to go on a Quest World Hop or a maybe World Hop with. Except Mary's not talking, and I don't know how sustainable that is. Oh God. He's stalking, but he's not talking. Woo.
The crawling default animation.
I know. Mary, do you mind tagging people on the irritation page who said they're RSVPing? Just be like, are you coming? Thank you. But yeah.
Do we feel like, I guess we're talking about world design. I'm thinking about this world, and I guess it accomplishes a lot of those, open space to start off.
Yeah.
A nice vantage point for where to go.
Yeah. If you think about it like nervous system, this is very storybook, right? It's almost like you could describe going through this world and tell somebody it, and they would think that you went through a dream. They would think that, you were on a journey, and this journey revealed things about yourself. And so, even that all the sign people aren't crowded in on you at the beginning, vying for your attention. You get an intimate moment to think about them by standing next to each one. And that's a type of building relationship with the world and learning the world's story first as almost an identity or a person. And when we hear the messages of the world in a really gentle way, where we kind of have to earn those messages, we've built trust. And we've built a journey of kind of becoming with the world. Like every step we take, every movement we take, we're a little more invested in this space becoming ours.
Hmm. That's an
And
interesting way to put it.
and then there's
It's a
some.
leadership.
Hello, welcome, Grant.
Hello.
I didn't manage to speak on my. Can I?
Well, you're cutting out a little bit. A
Yeah, your
Am
audio
I
is
cutting out?
a bit glitchy here.
Oh no, no.
I know, we're back to that.
Hmm. Very irritating.
Also, I'm getting the
That's
error
better.
bot things again, which is no fun. Let me see.
Mm.
There it
Oh, I
is.
see their
Okay.
avatar.
There it
I
is,
know,
and
but
fair
this is
enough.
my
Right,
glitch. But it's
right.
working now.
Yeah, I'm on desktop right now, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
That should
yeah.
help a little bit with
But yes,
connection.
I was gonna say like I didn't manage to RSVP. Is it like still okay if I chip in or?
Hmm.
With
Well.
the solemn promise to RSVP next time. Yes.
I'll try my best. You know, things have been a bit rough
Mm-hmm.
over here, so you never know.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
I hear you.
Yeah. So we were talking about irritation and how that shows up in world design um and what this world
Mm-hmm.
does for people's nervous systems to acclimate them to the space before they're normally likely to encounter anybody. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, the metaphor sometimes of irritation is a grain of sand in the shoe. Um, it's it's not big enough to
Mm-hmm.
stop and shake the shoe out. It's just a grain of sand, but it is constantly taxing the consciousness. It's constantly
Mm-hmm.
like that blinking light just out of the corner of the eye that isn't red, but it's blinking and it's not green. And so it's just that
Mm-hmm.
kind of little stimulus that tells you something's
Mm-hmm.
off, but it's not bad necessarily. It's just repetitive or uncaring, unhearing. Hey, Firebee, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see you. Sort of.
Hello.
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 Our desktop. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have PC Quest yet. I don't have that all set up.
Ah,
These
gotcha.
are PC worlds and they're only PC Quest compatible.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get your avatar to load. Sometimes if I click back and forth repeatedly, like 4 or 5 times, it will load. Yeah, there we go. It's weird, but it
Looks
works.
like our
Cool.
the bunny design is back, so
The bunny.
pretty good.
The bunny.
Well,
There's.
Firebee. Firebee is a
Oh
bunny,
yeah,
right?
you are a
I
bunny.
am.
Hmm.
And a little.
Not orange
Her
today.
name's
Are you
Bubbles.
orange normally?
I'm
I see
normally
blue.
purple, but I changed it to blue recently. Yeah, I was feeling the
Ah.
blue.
Mm.
Oh.
I like the eyeballs and the ears. Those are really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah,
great.
they add a little spice to her, don't they? For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Well, I feel like we're at a train station waiting to get on the train. I would love
Mm,
let's speak to the gods of social VR because I would love one more person in VR today would be ideal for me. And if you leave, no,
mm-hmm.
oh, there you
No,
are.
I'll be in
You
VR.
disappeared. I was like, if you
No,
leave,
no, yeah, I
I'm
was
kind
doing
of
something.
I have a boundary that is getting pushed a little bit more lately, and I'm not quite sure why. Where
Just checking.
I'm ending up in meetings with people in here that are all on desktop, and that's really, really
Mm,
bad for my body. So I need at
mm-hmm,
least one
mm-hmm,
and ideally two people to hold the field with me. That's actually reflecting my body back to me.
mm-hmm,
Otherwise,
mm-hmm.
I start to feel a little bit like a monkey in a TV, and it's really
World
harmful
watching monkey.
for my body. So, yeah, exactly. You're like, I can move my limbs. And that isn't a dig on anybody present. I'm really glad you're here, however you can be. But just knowing that, like, you know, this
Mm-hmm.
is, it is
Yeah, yeah.
it's a labor that requires a force field to hold so that I don't end up more depleted on the other side. And when I have a lot of bodies that are kind of frozen and just like more like cameras, that can be really tough. And then if you're on silent, that's another thing. So glad you're here. And I'm noticing, just hoping we get at least one other person that's in headset before we move into our main event today. I guess I'll give it a few more minutes. Curious, while we do that though, I guess we could start with like, what is one question about irritation that you could maybe focus on or learn today? What'd you say? Graham? Oh, you're breaking up a lot.
Robotic-y.
Oh no.
No.
Is this better?
Good.
Try talking some more.
Hello.
I think it also sounds like maybe your threshold is too high. So maybe turn that down again if you turned it up.
Oh, yeah. Is it better?
The lower threshold should
Yeah, the
more.
threshold was already really low to begin with, so that's why I'm a little.
Well, that
sounds good.
It's working right now for a second.
It's good.
But it goes in and out.
I think it's an internet.
Pretty,
I think it's an internet connection.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's happening again. Sometimes background noise can impact if you have a fan on or something.
I had this. Is this better now?
No, still pretty bad.
No.
Maybe try typing.
It's like a syllable of each part of the word is coming through one at a time. So it's like your words are getting chopped up, like it's your mic,
like a blender. Okay. Oh, what's up, Firebeat? Oh, it sounds like your desk fell on top of you.
I was moving my tracking camera so that I'm moving about a little bit
Oh,
more.
nice.
But
There you
go. My setup's really weird, so a lot of the time my camera picks up my voice, so you hear like lots of random noises. So I just have to like mute myself, then unmute myself, then mute myself, and unmute myself, so it doesn't disturb anyone. Yeah, it's a bit of a funky system. I need to improve it, to be honest, and get a good headphones or something.
Say there's some sort of checkbox for your microphone for noise suppression, and that can help with it canceling out, like, ruffling bags of chips or coughing, or a lot of backgrounds usually gets suppressed with that. In some cases, it might also suppress your ability to say hi. So,
is this good? Can you hear me now? Because I did a test real quickly, and that should be. It should be working now. Works fine?
Yeah, you sound much
You
better
sound
now.
much clearer. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, now we're back online. So, Gran, what's your question about irritation?
Right. I was gonna ask you what you were trying to say again, because you asked us something and
Oh, yeah.
the question got lost on me.
I was saying that I'm waiting to see if maybe we get one more person in headset, because it's tough for me to.
No.
And then
About irritation, something.
I think it was earlier you said, do we have any questions about irritation?
Yes, that's it.
And your voice is going back and forth now. Sorry. I know. At least it's more emotive when it cuts out every while. You sound irritated, so well done.
It's almost like the quality, like it's like a stream of water, like it was coming through, and then the faucet like ran out, and then it like goes up and
Keeps
down.
getting clogged.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I think there's like a ping or something we could look at. I think they show that in VR chat.
Yeah, I knew in a couple different companies, I got to meet their QA team, and they would go in and test worlds, and they would just try to mimic anything that could break down in users' experience, including audio and voice. And so they actually, if I remember correctly, they had a setting where they could turn on these kinds of behaviors with each other and see how much it interfered with the gameplay or whatever. So
like terribly slow bandwidth. You just turn that on.
yeah, exactly. I don't know how they did it, but they would start, cutting out when they're talking, and did that mess up coordinating the journey. And interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
good
for QA, yeah.
Back to the question, maybe you can write yours, Grant. What do you want to know about irritation? That we're gonna maybe find some
type again?
How do you type?
There is a T, or was it backslash?
Press Y on the. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's okay. No worries. This is part of the game is learning how to roll with irritation.
I type while I'm in VR.
As irritating as it is, we get to just practice the game of it, because sometimes it is a game.
I'd like to sort of learn how to, accept that kind of ick feeling, quoting you here. How to accept it and be okay with it, and not treat it like an enemy. Because I have a lot of experience where I treat a lot of my more ick feelings as an enemy, and I don't accept them, and I think I have to, not be like that. So that's one thing I'm trying to learn through this.
That's interesting.
It's okay to feel like this.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay, and it's like a canary in the coal mine. You don't want it to stop singing. That makes it worse. So, yeah. And maybe we can initiate today by welcoming irritation as one of our group members, and learning from it like it's a wise person that has come to tell us all its hidden messages.
Yeah, I think I've heard something a while ago that, well, this might be more related to the concept of pain in general, but it's always there as a teaching mechanism. Pain directs you towards where you should go and away from what you don't want. So irritation is sort of like a very tiny, subtle vibration of that. Just not at a point where it becomes traumatizing.
Yeah.
It's or traumatizing to others.
Right? Yeah. It's the first kind of frequency of change direction soon. That it's a buffer of sorts.
I'm wondering. So I guess I'm curious to learn about at what point does irritation turn into, I guess, when does the line get crossed that it turns into pain or suffering even? It's there's a difference between rubbing a little sandpaper on you and someone I don't know, stabbing you with a knife or something.
Right. How do we recognize that line and know when it's been crossed and respond there also? If I don't name my irritation sometimes and then my boundary gets crossed, I will go into guilt because I didn't put the boundary up before I knew something was off, and I hadn't gotten there, and now I feel a violation, and I'm going, I didn't warn you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Yeah, I understand that feeling.
I believe irritation needs clear communication between both parties. When I'm expecting something and an irritant loses that opportunity or something, that escalates the emotion in me. Oh, that's a really good one also, right? Of our mind constructs the format of what we're going to experience. Because it's budgeting for how much energy it's going to cost to do this thing, to attend this thing, to be in this connection. And when that budget is off, especially if it feels like a pre-agreed upon container or journey or bridge, it can be really irritating.
Yeah,
And
that's an
so,
interesting point. And
yeah,
I was going to ask Mary, when you say like irritation is, how did you just phrase it a moment ago? It was about causing the event, or losing an opportunity. Yeah.
yeah.
So you didn't mean that the irritation is the opportunity. It's preventing the opportunity you have expectations for. Okay. That
And
makes
this
sense.
one is, I feel sometimes irritation opens the path to more harmful emotions. Absolutely.
That makes sense. Yeah, we
You're
were just
doing
saying
great.
that.
You're doing great.
Yeah, no, this is good. We can see everything you're
We've got
communicating.
our ticker tape irritant writers over here that are narrating our irritating journey. Yeah. It's sometimes irritation is a door that was supposed to get locked, and then when it isn't locked, it becomes a bridge to a whole unleashing of pressure inside, right? So something somebody's doing with me might have nothing to do with them, and they don't even realize they're rubbing on me wrong or stepping on my toes or whatever, but everything that happened up to that moment makes that irritation almost like a, match with a dynamite. It can definitely blow people up or implode them. And that, especially in VR, you can't necessarily see that. In VR, that can look like just people vanishing. And sometimes people have learned so deeply how to swallow their irritation because they've been taught to express my irritation is dangerous for me. I lose connection. People, if I say I'm irritated, it just brings up everybody else's irritation. And then the cumulative amount of that irritation can actually become a lightning bolt at me. The butterfly effect, yeah. So irritation can feel somewhat dangerous, and so then people swallow it, and on the outside they give smiley emojis, they say I'm fine, they look at their phones, they just kind of sidestep it, but on the inside it can push to a very dark place, a very intense place. It's an unfortunate reality for many people. Yeah. So we have some
communication, definitely lack of that is, I think what we're all definitely talking about here. When something is irritating and then it's not addressed, it's not brought up, or it's not like, or it's pushed down and it's ignored, then it turns into a big problem.
One of our advisors for bridge makers has brought a teaching called the grumpy gear. And she explained a variety of ways that shows up when we're making decisions about community and connection. But I've noticed in bridge makers, since that language was introduced, that seems to be kind of a bridge for people to flag an emotional state change without necessarily owning what that is. So if somebody said, I'm anxious right now, that can kind of, it isn't an emotion. It means something's off for me, but it doesn't say I'm anxious about this right now. Many times when people say that, they're personalizing and they're like, I'm just an anxious person. Don't listen to me, but they're kind of flagging that they have less stamina to endure in that moment. Like they're going at a quicker speed or they're getting fatigued faster. But since grumpy gear as a language has been introduced, I hear it more and I see it more written as a way for people to travel through the irritation or the frustration or the harder emotions and just name the journey and go, my gear kicked in and I watched it go. And these are all the stories it spit out. And now I'm back and I allowed it to have a voice, but it's not me. It's just a gear inside of me. So I've appreciated that kind of almost safe for work language that got introduced where people don't necessarily still want to say, this is irritating or I'm irritated. We're still very conditioned and scared of, if I tell you I'm irritated, I'm going to make you feel bad. And I have to take care of your emotions, and therefore I don't get to feel mine. And I, in Bridge Makers, if you ever end up becoming a helper with us or whatever, you will see like when people name their emotions, it's, for me, it's like I resist the urge to put these like celebration emojis on all of that, because it's like extra points that you're building the emotional safety for yourself to just name the emotion and not have to give an explanation for why you're feeling it. I think that the pairing of the emotion with the story creates a lot of expectation that if you're announcing the irritation, it's like the little flagged shoulder before the case gets made. And I proved to you why. Giving an explanation for why you feel the way you do is very much a large concern. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so first,
that's a really interesting idea. I'm thinking about bringing up emotions to a group of people is almost like, we don't have a society where that's like socially acceptable in most cases. And when you bring it up, that means you have beef or you're like ready to like.
That's right. If I have hard feelings, it's all of your fault. And you have to assume that instantly. And then every story I tell you after this, you have to be like, well, that's why she's irritated. She's really talking about me and blah, blah, blah. And so it becomes this guilt kind of shame spiral for the whole group because there's no muscle practicing naming emotions. And just seeing that named emotion like an incredible, vulnerable gift. It is not my business why you feel what you feel, but it is an honor when you choose to name it and get specific about it. Like that is a genuine, vulnerable thing because it's so subjective.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was reading something recently about this phenomenon of it's definitely.
It's an honor when someone expresses vulnerably. Yeah.
But I was seeing something about this idea about being responsible for other people's well-being is something that the human race seems to have tried to like push out of its own existence, where this was sort of a norm for thousands of years in more tribal, early human civilizations. But at some point it became this race for individualism that if you rely on people, it's bad in all these different ways, and you can't trust someone because they'll betray you. But then it's like, our society isn't doing super well with this concept of individuality. And the fact that we've sacrificed the ability to, be responsible for other people's well-being is kind of like one of the biggest tragedies of humanity in the current age.
And I would say that a lot of the culture that we see in social VR is an ultimate expression of that. The combination of the expectation when we invest in this technology to be pleased, to be escaped from our physical reality. Literally, we buy this stuff to not be irritated. Like, we buy this stuff because we are already irritated and we're trying to get a reset. We're trying to get a fun friction instead of just like exhaustion and suffering friction. So I like your question about, when does irritation turn to suffering? And I want you to hold that today, because there are some potential answers on that can really help all of us kind of start to gauge where that almost teeter-totter happens. Instead of it just being a line, it can just tip, and now we're in suffering land. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 2 questions. How do I make friends with my ick emotions? How do I recognize when irritation turns to suffering? What else? I'm curious whether there are environmental differences for irritation for people. Speaking versus chat bubbles.
Irritation of typing versus talking.
If a world has an impact on discourse.
Yeah, poor Grand here. He's got the internet issue.
Yeah.
Mic issue. We're not sure.
Grand has I did not sign up for this. Expectations, disappointment. Yeah, disappointment is a vulnerable, I would say almost subset to irritation. Sometimes I think of disappointment as the bridge between irritation and sadness. Yeah, you had a new mic. You were hoping you'd be able to communicate more coherently. Yeah, disappointment. And yeah, things don't work that way sometimes. There's also something in what you just named that you had prepared, you had invested for this moment, you were excited about it, and then now it's disappointing. That's touching to me. I feel close to you even through your irritation. I've been used this mic for VR chat for some time. Yeah. I hope to fix this soonish. More power to you.
I think that's definitely irritating when you assume the technology is going to work and then you jump into an event where there's no time to troubleshoot and you need it to work right there, and then
it's just well, and this is something that I've learned with this technology that I think has helped me a lot in my physical reality is because I first spent the most time in Horizon, where there was so many glitches you cannot even imagine. Like sometimes people would not be able to say more than a few words to each other every 30 seconds because everything would freeze.
Wow.
And people would they would stick around and they would keep persist. But the glitches were profound. And because of that, and because there was this sense of like pioneering through it, this culture was born in that space. And because we had creator tools that we could move and build stories with our hands, sometimes we actually couldn't hear each other, but we would build environments to talk to each other. We would build our frustration and our irritation into whatever we were creating. And I think that makes such a difference, is even if I can't say it to you, can I show it to you? Can I demonstrate my distress? And acknowledge that basically, I look at irritation at this point like it's a state shift. It's just, traffic has changed inside of me. And if I don't name it soon, then I'm going to go into a reaction mode because I didn't build enough bridge with the people present for me to name that and be accepted in that. Yeah, exactly. Like a shift in weather. That's right. And so, yeah, the question of, so you were curious about remind me again, how irritation
I think Mary was saying something about how certain world
The
environments
world,
might,
yeah,
but
can cause
about
it.
chat bubbles versus speaking. I don't know if worlds in general might cover that topic, but
Yeah. Well, there are worlds in here that are named and said they've been designed for just chat bubbles. And what's kind of interesting about that to
interesting.
me is that the people who say they've used those worlds really hate those worlds because it's completely silent. And
that does sound a little.
And then they're having to read each other's chat bubbles, and so it's excruciatingly slow, kind of text messaging with avatars that are kind of frozen, staring at each other. So,
yeah, and that can
yeah,
be difficult too if there's no chat history. So if someone's chat bubble
exactly.
disappears,
Yeah,
like, what did you
yeah,
say?
exactly. Yeah, you can't really be in a group
Mm-hmm.
chat with people. When these spaces are subject to updates that force those who prefer chat out. Yeah. It becomes
Or a world that's
irritating.
really busy and
Yeah.
are there worlds that are just so crowded with noise that they expect you to just type instead of talk? I mean, world volume is a slider.
Some like
Yeah.
open mic worlds do that because you're not allowed to speak
Oh,
near the stage, and there'll always be like an area where you can go where you can speak, but on near the stage areas, it's a lot of typing
that
because
makes a
you just
lot of
interrupt
sense.
the event.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. Well, a game world where you need the sound to prompt you to act. Yeah. Yeah, there could be some really interesting. I do believe in Horizon we explored some different ways to like irritate people, but I always felt very careful about that because it felt like to intend irritation on someone can get into a weird power up, power down position. And so the consent process for people to experience irritation and believe somehow just because I'm sandpapering that part of you, I don't know what's underneath that part. And so it could be an ignition, it could be a spark that takes you much deeper than irritation. So I think mostly it was more a byproduct of the worlds that couldn't completely be fixed. And when there was a pure sample of an uncomfortable emotion, I might quarter that part off and give a little warning zone. But I was just fascinated at how consistently it would make people react a certain way. So it was like, okay, that's problematic, but I'll at least preserve the world because it's just got such a pure sample of reaction mode. Yeah. Gran, do you have a question about irritation? Or maybe an intention if a question isn't there. That's okay.
Is there something about irritation you'd want to learn about?
Or want to grow around? Or are you perfectly content with your irritation companions? Yeah. Here to listen.
Other perspectives.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I feel like we've talked so much about it so far.
Yeah. I can be unaware. Well, so that's a whole, this is another direction to think about is how often do you look for irritation in others? And if you were looking for it, what would it mean if you found it? How do you interact with people who appear or seem to be irritated? What do you say that makes that worse or better?
Yeah. That's an interesting question because I can catch myself quite a lot, kind of like in a crowd of people, clocking my attention towards someone I see enter that is like, oh, it's that kind of person.
It's that
Do
kind
I
of
say
person.
something? Do I
Yeah.
back away? Do I confront them? Or
Who's
do
the
I just
most
hope they don't come over
disruptive?
here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it becomes a bit challenging to approach someone knowing they're irritated.
Oh yeah, if they're experiencing an irritation,
Yeah.
I think it depends on the situation. If
Yeah,
I
you don't
think
want
I
to
can
upset
help
them
them, I
more.
might.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's hard to tell what's
Yeah.
irritating them.
So one thing that would help me as facilitator for this group is if when somebody's typing something, if we can take turns reading what we're seeing up there, that will reduce the facilitating labor on my part. So
Some people want the company to soothe the irritation.
Yes, exactly. So this week I sat in, thank you, Mary, save how usually. I sat in on a helper meeting, and I was so volatile inside that I couldn't speak. But I decided to stay with the disclosure to people that I'm there and I'm just holding on to their voices as they talk about whatever. Like I need to, it was like a sensory pinging to myself to just kind of like discipline a little bit and focus on people that I care about and I'm caring for. And I think on the other side, I had a little more ground under me because I had just forced myself to kind of keep taking little breaks from what was overwhelming me very deeply. And when I finally fatigued in that effort, then I exited. But sometimes when we notice people are irritated, it can be like just the thing to just be near them and not necessarily point it out, but just kind of hold space for that grading that they're going through, and not be coiling up, right? Because if I see somebody who seems irritated, there's a part of me that's bracing and waiting for that to turn on fire, turn into anger, turn into worry. Sometimes when I'm irritated, oh yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes when I'm irritated, I need like background noise, someone else doing something with a different opposite emotion.
Exactly. Yeah, which
I
is.
wonder, Mary, is that a way to like soothe the irritation or to ignore it? Not to call you out, just questioning.
Dissipate it.
Out.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes I notice a microdosing or diluting. Yeah.
Oh, dilute.
Sometimes I notice
like
that I will. Yeah, I'll put on a TV show, and I'll ask myself, why am I putting on this TV show? Because a lot of times I listen to TV in the background. Kind of like I think people listen to music, but I'm just listening to the tones of voices and how they kind of interact. I'm not even listening to what they're saying. I'm just listening to how they weave and they pause and they stop. And every once in a while I'll be like, whoa, what was that? And then I'll rewind. That's my version of ASMR. Yeah, maybe. It's
funny. I could never do the background TV thing. I never understood how people just turn on the TV and don't watch it. I'm like, what?
Well, I think people do use it more like ASMR, but for me, it's more like 90% of the patterns I see on television, I can kind of predict what's going to happen, not just in the plot, but in the body language. And so screening television for spots that I haven't kind of found the code of how that chemistry works is just this kind of monitoring a signal that's mostly, it's interesting. Television for me is a constant signal, and I'm looking for the noise spots. I'm looking for where the signal isn't clear. And then I pause and I look at it and I say, is this because I'm going to learn a new kind of group dynamic emotional chemistry piece? Or is this because the writers had a deadline and they just inserted crap into this spot? And this isn't, this is too disjointed or placating or primal to kind of match the same signal I was feeling before. And that's a really weird thing where I can sometimes go look up, hey, what happened with that episode? And find out the writers, half of them had gotten fired and they had a deadline and they just like threw it all together, but they really weren't talking through how they were relating. So yeah, I think a lot of people do it to soothe, but I do it more because I don't have somebody who understands how I track things, and I'm screening for the spots that I still haven't grown around or understand. It helps me in here quite a bit, actually. You're all a television for me. Okay, well, I think we have some quests. I'm going to see if I have a quest around TV or no, irritation. What is my irritation quest?
What do you mean by? I can't read the rest of that.
What did you say, Faye?
I was reading her their text box, but I can't see the last of
quest.
it.
Yeah.
The F is covering it.
So I kind of like to play with words, if you haven't noticed this about me, Grand. And question has the word quest in it, right? So question is like a doorway that leads us on a journey. It makes us pursue. And pursuit is a type of purpose. It's a type of practice. So I look at suffering as the lack of growth with pain. Suffering is where I have resigned to numbness, resigned to endurance and just survival, and I don't have a choice to grow through that pain. And to put a quest down, to ask a question is an invitation to grow. And it's an expression of hope. To be curious is hope. It's the possibility that by taking something else in, I will be more whole than less whole. WHOLE, not OHOLE. But I like that word too, because it kind of goes inside out. I love that. Yeah.
Really is a beautiful thought.
Yeah, and in that respect, I believe that, I've had to whittle down hope to, I feel so much hopelessness in social VR, like probably some of the most stagnant air hopelessness I've ever felt in anywhere in my life. And I've had to ask myself, is that my hopelessness, or is this kind of what was left behind in places we actually can't breathe oxygen, or trees aren't recycling our carbon dioxide, but also our feelings? Like the worlds don't change from us being here. And that frozenness can create a hopelessness and an invisibility. And so I've had to whittle hope down to the expression of movement. When people move towards me, even if they're trolling, there's hope in that. When they use one word, when they use an emoji, there's hope in that. And to see it, there's ways that we can pack a lot in tiny little things. And when we do that and we let ourselves receive them, so I've been in meetings before where people are on mute. They don't move their avatars at all. I definitely feel like the government is watching me, kind of thing. There's no responsiveness going on. And we'll do a 2-hour meeting, and near the end, the only emoji that I see come out of them is just hearts. And it comes at a really important moment when everybody else is just absorbing deeply, but they were ready and they released the heart. And I think sometimes that's enough. Sometimes that is the ad for the entire time, the build up, and then that one expression of going, I hear you, I'm here. And so am I questioning, am I open enough to receive that when it comes, instead of being like, you know, the full body tracker, like dictator, and being like, you're not really here and you don't really care, unless I still have to respect my body's overwhelm without having that mirroring. But I can also recognize that for some people, actually getting in headset is really harmful to them. And yet they still are hungry to be present and to take what they can from these moments that are so random and magical for us to be in all these very different storytelling avatars and sharing about such an intimate thing, uncomfortable emotions. So questioning is, I think, one of the most beautiful gifts we can give a space like this, because it offers doorways for us to not be complete. And to admit that we're not complete makes us have to move. It creates hunger. It creates a seeking. Yeah. So with that in mind, why don't we go visit our little map? I don't know if we're going to get to very much world hopping because my technology is being funky. But we can go look at the map and check out our friend Irritation here. And my invitation as we walk through these spaces is
still working.
Hey, it is today. But ask yourself every place inside these worlds as we're moving, if the world was alive right now, did I just irritate it? So when I came up to the bubble of the black hole and I'm moving through those boundary layers, they kind of light on fire a bit. You know, did I irritate this black hole? These are ways to kind of practice a not at all, Mary says. It was happy to receive me. But these are ways to start to, you know, or like we could pretend that this is a real physical environment and we all have avatar shoes on and we're stepping on these really lovely rugs. Or yes, you could be. So there's ways we can start to, orange is fiery and joy. Yes. If we
trap our mud or chip the marble work,
that'll irritate the world.
Don't track any dirt. Take your shoes off, everyone.
The sand stays outside the black hole.
I don't know how you're going to avoid that.
We should have a sign up that says "No shoes inside black hole." People will be like, "What?"
The only thing that doesn't go in a black hole, shoes.
No shoes. That's right. It'll eat you alive. It'll really spaghettify you if you've got shoes on, because that's what it wants. So let's go look at our sign people. They've been waiting all months to show us irritation. There they are. Hello. Hello, sign people.
Hello, sign people.
Mary is.
Oh yes, the little stairways will let you pop down. We have a secret ceiling.
Oh yes. And so here is our latest depiction of irritation. And I like that you're taking a bended knee or sitting down low. What's it like to be beneath beneath the irritation? Let's see.
I mean, the more I stare at it, the more I'm questioning the pose I gave for this guy. I'm wondering, he seems more like disappointed, or I can't. I have to look away. This is too much. But
sorry.
I suppose there's an irritatingness behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard.
So let's read the signs. I want to empathize with the sign so they feel like they're not alone. Oh.
I feel like I want to get smaller, you know? Like it's disappointed at me or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I've told you this 10 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you see frustration. Mm-hmm.
It mirrors back to the other side person.
I'm very wary of irritation myself and others. Like I'll always be watching out for it, and if I see it, I'll try to stay quieter and smaller. But I know where that comes from.
And so that's a lovely self-awareness, right? Of what helps your body kind of survive those moments. And what are other ways you see people respond to irritation? If they weren't trying to get smaller, what do you see other people try?
To ask sort of what's bothering them and maybe try and make it better and support them. I see that quite a bit as well.
Yeah. So they'll say, what's wrong? And so what emotion might be coming up when somebody says, what's wrong?
Empathy?
Yeah, there's a seeking of empathy, right? I see
curiosity.
There's curiosity, right? Because we got the question mark on the end. And there's also a judgment in that, right? That something is wrong. So I would say that can embody concern, curiosity and concern. I'm assuming something's wrong. And I'm also assuming you know the answer to that. And
people don't always know why they feel like
people don't always know. And sometimes it can create an incredible bridge to just, sit next to somebody and say, I feel irritated right now. And they'd be like, really? Why? And I'd be like, I don't know. I just feel irritated. And how often that gives people permission to be like, wow, yeah, me too. So now we have a quest to go on. What's irritating us? And we might pick out different things. I thought it was the collar I have on me, that the tag's there, but I ripped it out and it's still irritating me. Okay, well, what about you? Well, like I took a train the other day on the way home from airport and they had just had a train strike. So all the trains were backed up. And what was supposed to be a half-hour train ride was an hour and a half train ride in the middle of like the end of the day with people standing room only. And I felt the whole train groan, they're just like so irritated. And I was so tired. And yet I was kind of like, if anybody on this train really took in the weird liminal space that we just entered, we all thought we were tolerating each other for a half hour, and now we're on a journey. We're on a real train ride. And we don't get to feel the rush of going fast. We have to go real slow. And every time the train stopped, the driver had to say, there was a strike. Apologies. Thank you for your patience. And new people got on, would all groan. And I was like, wow, we're on a train of irritation. And I'm too tired to match it. I don't have any energy to feel irritated here. I just am like, I will endure. I was determined. So yeah, sometimes people don't know why they feel irritated, and sometimes they do, but naming it isn't always the answer, because it can feel really sensitive. But sometimes just sitting next to it can be so comforting. Yeah. What I appreciate about this particular sign person is that they do the emotion on others pretty consistently. They actually cause irritation in people. You like naming it. Someone, yeah, that's very true. It's soon telling somebody they seem irritated is an interesting risk.
I've been thinking a bit sitting here. It's there's a lot to think about. Yeah. It's like these characters have no fingers or no faces, but we can still express body language.
Yeah.
You've been in that position yourself, yeah. The habit of letting people blow off me, regardless if it hurts me.
That's interesting. So you become
when you say letting people blow off you, is that like I don't know if I'm familiar with the term.
Kneeling is in front of the sign is relatable. So this is where you are submitting to their explosive energy. Yeah. 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 Some of you maybe have heard me say this before, but I look at in a very boiled down way. Most human behavior can be summarized as a zap or a give. Do you electrically zap at me and put your armor up? Or do you soften and reach? And all body language can kind of boil down to that. And so with irritation, there's a zap there, but sometimes releasing that zap prevents it from escalating even further. And so there are people in life, and you will see this, early trolling behavior and class clownism is very hard to tell the difference, where they will kind of, and animals are really good at this. Have you ever been in a place with an animal where an owner's like, I don't know why my animal's behaving that way. Like normally they're so well behaved. And this animal's just doing some very atypical behavior. Children will do this also, is they can sense where the pressure is in the room. And they will go and rub against it. They'll wipe their snot on it. They will stomp their toe on it. They will hump it. I mean, creatures and children will do very instinctual things to release that pressure and almost cause a ripple of irritation in the room, but also potentially prevent a much bigger rupture. And so I've found people in the world that just run around and pop people's irritation, and they're like, I'm always getting blown up at. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So bursting the bubble before it gets too big was what Mary wrote. So there's a lot of intuition on how to dance with irritation. And remembering that irritation can be something that turns into laughter. It can turn into excitement. It can even turn into joy. I have a friend who got... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, there are some games that, back in the day, people would say that the term friction, this game will make you do these activities that are like frustrating or a little irritating, but it's like over time people learn that when you keep filing away all the friction and it's just smooth, pure gaming experience, like one bit after another, it loses all this charm and all of this like details that made it good in the first place. That the accomplishment of overcoming that friction was like actually a very beneficial part of the game. And when you don't have that friction and it's just like, only good vibes, only go from here to here to do this X, Y, and Z, and it's a strange thing people are only now learning about, because we think we want our games to do this and that, but then when we actually make them do that, it loses something. So,
yeah. And this is another piece that I have grown a lot around because of social VR and my exposure more and more to the gaming world is learning the care that can be put into building friction in people to a threshold and then releasing it into a sense of flow or connection. That game designers that can tune the sounds and the environment and the journey just so slightly, it feels like I've learned how to appreciate almost, a symphony of game design that takes me to that threshold. And then at times, now that I've learned to recognize that antagonism or stirred up, interactions, if I get pushed way beyond it into like fear or panic or worry, I will ask myself, who is like me that would leave the game at this point if they didn't understand and were tracking their emotions? For example, I was telling Mary recently about the game Subnautica, and that at the beginning of the game, there's this 2-hour window before a much bigger ship blows up where you're supposed to accomplish all these tasks. And I left the game when the bigger ship blew up, even though it didn't have that high of a consequence, because I was irritated and also disappointed that the game had pushed me into such a fear response when I was already very interested in what I was doing. And I was going as quickly as I could. And I will sometimes exit games out of this kind of idea of, I hope they're paying attention to where people exit and asking themselves, why did a whole bunch of people drop off there? Are we accomplishing what we want? And I didn't want to leave all the people behind that I know would leave the game at that point, because I thought this is tuned for a gamer mentality that needs a much higher adrenaline response to go quicker and have fun. And for those of us who don't play as much, this just feels really unnecessarily violent and just disappointing, So yeah, there are ways that when we start to think about humans as irritation can be really, really healthy if it is curated with a reward and with connection at the end of it. But the design has to be iterated, and iterated and irritation to me are like little cousins of each other. So when I'm like, I'm irritated, well, let's iterate on that, like, so the biggest learning I have for irritation is you got to ball dance with irritation, like you just keep the motion going so that it's not landing on any one spot, because the part where the pressure sores appear, the violation appears, is when it just becomes hard and it keeps pushing. So how do we dance with our irritation and sing the song if we can't say it? And what challenge would you give yourself? Your irritation, yeah, iteration.
Irritated. I'm sure iteration and irritation combined.
Let's iterate on that, but I like it. Yeah. But how do I
iteration?
How do I challenge myself to get more overt about my irritation and see what that does to the culture in the room? When I'm in a power up position as a leader and I say I'm irritated, it's going to cost everybody more to hear that, because my irritation could absolutely fill the room with a kind of quality of connection. It's a much louder signal than I'm irritated. And so I have to be careful of how that gets named, but also when I see people name their irritation, I'm just so grateful that we have enough psychological safety to see that come out. And I also guardian that pretty carefully because I don't want people jumping into fix-it mode with each other. I'm always very proud of people when they say their emotion and they don't explain it. And I will many times jump in between if somebody's like, well, why? Why are you? And I'm like, we don't have to ask that. We can just be with it.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly when I hear somebody say they have a feeling, I just get very curious, right? I want to know, like, how do you know you have that feeling? And what made you share that right now? And thank you for sharing it. And what's it like that now we know you have that feeling? What's it like now? And sometimes all of a sudden they're getting all the information as to why they feel that feeling. They're like, I'm overwhelmed. I know my answers, but I don't want to talk about it. So that can be true too. Yeah. So I really appreciate the vulnerability, Grand, of you sitting in this position and feeling that sense of, I get the blowback of this energy and I roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
And my question for you would be, what happens if you don't roll with it? More pushback, yeah. More explosive. Mm-hmm. So there's a way that you've become the shock absorber for people. You kind of take the echo of it. You assumed that, wow, that's a lot of absorption. That's intense. Appreciate you saying that. I've assumed that role for all my life. Or they get very surprised, Mary says. Yeah.
Do you mean what happens if we don't hold back the irritation? Was that sort of what you asked?
Well, so when Grand is in, I mean, listen to this. I do appreciate sitting here, right? So Grand is actually building relationship with this dynamic Grand has been in their whole life, with a pixel depiction of a sign person who's having some feelings right now. Especially because I can't use the mic, right? Because now that's actually putting you into a position of having to be with it, but not speak it. Yeah. So imagining that Grand has like memory foam as their clothing, and the memory foam just like gets hit by these movements of people that are maybe their bodies aren't, I'm irritated, but their body language is doing that. And Grand is probably slowing their body language down to show, yeah, I absorbed that, but I'm more grounded with your storm. I'm not less.
I'm picturing in my mind those little things. I forget what they're called. The things you like punch and they roll back and they stand right back up.
The bozo clam. Yeah, or punching bags.
I guess maybe they are punching bags. Yeah, but they always
they're usually
get back
full
up.
of air, right? And they have a heavy spot on the bottom, and so, yeah, it can be really powerful to realize all the things. Now that you just have a sign person there, all the things that you don't ever get to say out loud because you're just holding through somebody else's storm and letting them be there and maybe not even say or own how much energy they're putting out into the room, how much energy they're taking up. And so the question is just saying, if you've played one type of behavior, one type of role with this emotion your whole life, what if you picked a different one? And maybe you'd get all the worst fear scenarios that have kept you in that one role this whole time. But what would ever make you try something else on? And a lot of times the bridge to that is to start to look at other people and how they respond. And go, well, what if we traded places and they did what I'm doing and I did what they were doing? How would that feel? because many times what happens is group empaths have a loyalty to the group energy over their own. And so they do a lot of buffering without realizing it. And then they will stick out of groups a lot. They will stay away from groups because they end up becoming kind of the liver processing all of that.
I have to hold back my ego from saying they couldn't handle rules first. Yeah.
They can't handle what I'm doing. Well, and look at that place, right? That we assume if I don't get small, if I don't absorb this, then I have to get tall and I have to lean into it. Those are my two options. Those are two options, but are there more? Are there more?
When you're feeling irritating or you see someone else feeling irritating?
Both. Great question. Both. If my irritation, so like, I'm just going to do some body awareness right now. What do I really feel when I'm irritated? So I want to put my head down a little bit, my throat right in that little dip area feels like whatever I swallow is just going to land there. It's not going to keep going down. My belly freezes. Maybe my jaw tightens a bit. And then I want to take a deep breath and kind of be like, kind of feel that growl a little bit. And where can I do that? My shoulders are a bit hunched. So that's my memory of how body irritation shows up in me in the very beginning right now. And so what if I just said, that's not the only way I have to feel irritation? Okay. You notice your breath first. Yeah.
Breathing, pressure.
Yeah. There's lung pressure, right? And so maybe, But
I mean, I'm trying to think about when I am irritated, but I think I tend to pace. I kind of will fidget or wander around or try to look for ways I can solve the problem. If it's something like a leaf blower outside, which I just absolutely hate. I don't know why my neighbors will just use it every week, is blowing dust on the driveway.
Oof.
Loudest, most irritating device in the world, and they don't care. But it's I don't know. I guess I just feel like I have to stare at the problem. I have to directly confront them and be like, "Are you done yet? Or is this going to go away soon, or do I have to leave the premise entirely?"
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's a question that we get to ask ourselves with irritation is my time engaging with the stimulus might be short-lived, but what is that buffer? What is that time that I can endure here? And when does this become, I need to redirect, I need an exit point? And so, I look at comedians as experts at irritation. They get better and better at reading the crowd and learning how to steer their jokes to stimulate without overwhelming. Because that overwhelm can put people into a disgust or a judgment place.
Yeah.
Or a place of guilt. And so they're dancing for their supper, so to speak, and seeing if they can help everybody express pent-up energy that they don't even know is stuck inside about those margins of what's wrong and right, what's normal and what's abnormal. And comedians will just dance that line so nimbly. And they will weave between jokes that feel safe and feel like, oh, I never thought of it like that. And then feel discriminatory and a bit othering, but how othering is it? And what does it mean that I laughed at that? And what does it mean that we laughed at that? Or who laughed at that? Like comedians that'll sit there and say, all the white people just laughed, right? And now race is in the room and we're going, oh, now we're locked into this. What are we going to do? And so that is a way, I guess, I've made friends with irritation a little bit. It can be a stimulant that motivates movement through my body. Or it can be a mosquito that keeps me up at night. I'm trying to not move.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Go ahead.
like Buddhism in this context of like, if something does get too irritating, there's a presence of like going very mindfulness and addressing the problem, asking why does it bother you, and then realizing there's internal parts of you that are reacting, and to kind of address them and to feel them and to let it wash over you and pass through you and stuff like that, as one solution.
Yeah. The why can be a rabbit hole, and it can also be a devotion, right? The devotion to understanding ourselves, even when we don't completely make sense. Why is this here? And what space is it taking up if I wasn't feeling that way?
Yeah, a get out clause. I need one of those, like a get out of jail card.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So that's something too. Sometimes you're just you haven't eaten in a while, or you ate something weird.
So Mary says, yeah, when I can't answer why I'm feeling irritation, I have a get out clause, which is I probably ate something that is stressing my body. Yeah. Or in VR, it might be my frame rate must be really low, or my internet must be really spotty. There's ways we can kind of exit without really giving the answer. But we assume something inside is not going well from something outside, possibly. Yeah, I look at irritation like it is a signal that, when not paid attention to, will ignite and flip us around this chart in a way that can cause trauma. Irritation is a warning that a boundary is about to be crossed. And if it doesn't get named, it will get crossed. And then the violation of that has to be processed and healed. And so the cousin for me, this map we're sitting on, the cousin to irritation is frustration. And when I worked with couples for years and I would watch the very same, people will pay a lot of money to sit in front of another person and be like, you never listen to me. And the other person says, well, if you would just stop talking. And that loop just has so many decorations to it. But that's like what couples therapy looks like. You're not listening to me. Just stop talking so much. And the vacation from those becomes the concern and the confusion. The vacation is going, I just think something's really wrong with us or you. And then the confusion is, I don't know why you keep going on about this. I don't know what you're talking about. And the suffering that can grow in dyadic relationships that don't know how to move through these emotions and just keep dancing them and not see them as an attribution of a person or who they are, but see them as a friction that requires both people to keep adjusting over and over and over. Both people to keep practicing curiosity. Yeah, that's when I kind of made friends with those emotions, because I just realized they're just compass points trying to tell us we're off our middle, and they're just telling us something else has entered the space. That's it. And how do we get creative about being listened to? When we think about boundaries, a lot of times people think if there's a boundary there, it's like the China wall. In Horizon, I have a world where I finally built the metaphor of this, of like the first kind of boundary can actually just be this. That's a boundary. If you're talking to me and I do this, I gave you some information. Oh, wow. Shushu's here. That's interesting. Could you, Mary, go ahead and respawn and show Shushu where we're at? Yeah. Or, sorry, Fro, because you can talk and Mary can't. So
sure. Let me go get them.
Yeah. I don't think Shushu's been in here. Talk about the god of irritation. My God. We are manifestors. This being could show us some worlds if I could get into them with you that, I mean, we're only experiencing the kiddie pools of irritation here today, but Shushu's worlds are like rage and terror and shame. Shushu's worlds are out of this world. It's wild that Shushu showed up. Interesting. Anybody knows Nico's worlds? Shushu and Nico and Tajasuka all come from alt space, and they're very, very gifted designers that hold all kinds of emotions. Not so pleasant for them, very beneficial to us. We'll see if Shushu makes it down. Can see them. I know. Isn't that interesting? Yay.
You're going to want to walk down the stairway. There's a glass dome over everyone.
Shushu's like, where am I? Oh, Shushu's in a headset. We got our extra headset person. Hey, Shushu, can't leave.
I think they're...
Hello.
I think it might be...
Hey.
Nice to see you. Are you in a headset?
Nice to see you.
You're on desktop.
That looks like desktop.
No, I'm on desktop actually in my mobile VR lab on the beach in the Canary Island just before a big storm.
Wow. That is so many levels of details. Well, welcome, Shushu. I don't think you've been here before.
Cool.
Yeah. So we are doing a live stream right now talking about the emotion of irritation and learning about how we respond to irritation. And I was telling them that I think as far as people who I know deals with a lot of irritation, you're probably at the top of my list in social VR. You
really?
cope, yeah, you cope with a lot of irritation. Do you have any interest in sharing what irritation feels like for you? How do you know you're irritated?
Irritation?
The emotion, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think I have a few words to say about it, yeah.
Go for it, Shushu. This is your moment. We are all your students of irritation.
But I listened some other voice talking in the background.
Oh, there was the TV.
It's a video.
Yeah, there's a TV upstairs. You can turn your world volume down if you'd like.
I forgot to turn it down too, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, now it's more quiet.
Yay.
Irritation. If anything in this world irritates me, it has to be human beings. Because animals do not irritate me, right?
Interesting. There you go. Yeah. Humans.
I've learned to confront and overcome irritation because it's one of the evil forces in this world. When you come out, look at that from a position of strength, can somehow look at this, make it look less horrible than it is. Irritation, mainly stupidity. This is like one of the only things I haven't learned to actually accept.
Ignorance, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
Or
it could be irritation.
People have different levels of emotional intelligence. By that, it means that they also have different levels of understanding of understanding reality. And if they are in the same situation and they talk about the situation, discuss about the situation from a completely different levels of understanding, then it creates a conflict.
Yeah.
Irrit.
Really well put, Shushu. And I love what you're saying about when your brain triggers the idea that somebody is being stupid, as in they're not utilizing all the data points, then it's irritating for you.
It's not their fault. It's just, that's how they were created, or they didn't have any ambitions to develop their personality. For example, today somebody just throw garbage here in the nature and just left it like that. And this is something that irritates me. And I think, why is it irritating me? Because this guy just don't understand what he's doing. It's not his fault. It's just stupid.
Yeah. And so there's this idea that you forgive that they don't mean to. So you're not saying there's intention in it, but you also...
No, I just asked, is it like your garbage? You say, yeah, what do you care? And you say, well, from my perspective, I do care, so I just grab the bag and took the garbage, put it in a bag, took it away.
So Mary's asking a question here. Yeah. Go ahead, Fro.
Yeah. What does that irritation feel like physically in the body? Do you feel like there's a part of you that reacts?
Yes. This is one of the reasons why I said it's one of the evil forces. This is something that first of all, you get older. Let's face it. If you're irritated very often, you just get older quickly. You get white hair, and it's something that like boils you inside somewhere, in the stomach or in the mind, or something that is it's like somebody injected some bad poison. No,
yeah,
it's just bad. It's not a good thing. You need to avoid.
White hair and getting older, symptoms of irritation.
Yeah.
Wow. So Shushu, we have this map you're standing on. You and I talked about this a little, but I don't think we ever world hopped like we planned. So we have some sign people friends here, including this one up here that we picked as mimicking some body language for people who are irritated. And we've been just kind of learning from how we feel being around somebody who looks irritated. And what does it mean in VR specifically when we don't have poses that clearly mimic our body language when we feel our feelings? So for some people...
It also depends on us. It's also depends on us, on each one of us. If we look at the situation, we change the way we look at the situation, we might not be irritated.
And that's what we were talking about a little earlier, is always changing the perspective, because when irritation gets stuck, then it's going to turn into violation because it has no way to flow.
True.
Yeah. So we're learning about that. And we haven't world hopped yet. Normally we do this. This would be a long world hop because my technology is kind of broken today. So it's a big if we can go find some irritating worlds. But
I didn't want to take all
no.
the
Glad you're here.
attention. I was actually working on a new world, and I just stepped by to see what's going on here.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. You're very welcome
but
here.
my time is I started a new phase in life, so my time is actually limited because I have independent electricity system.
Oh wow!
And I have a limited battery, and
Wow.
it doesn't allow me just to go and hang around for hours.
You have to budget your quality of connection for sure.
I have Starlink, which is brilliant. It's phenomenal. It's remarkable.
As well.
Wow.
It's remarkable in this place where I am.
Do you have a favorite world that we could try to go to? No promises because my headset keeps refusing worlds, but you are such a creator of worlds, and I thought if you wanted to share a world with us that embodies some version of irritation, either yours or somebody else's, I'd be really curious to give it a go. We'll see if I can get in there, but they can get in there.
Irritation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I can find in any of the worlds that I created something that irritates. Because the act of art is like singing an art life, so it's like more sharing.
What about worlds that irritate you?
Yeah, I have one of them. It's a game. It's a game. It's called Melons and Pepper or something like this.
Is this the fruit world?
Some of my friends, very intelligent people, got stuck in this stupid thing, and they play all day and night. They're addicted to this stupid game, and whenever I want to meet them, they don't have time because they play this.
Yeah, the Melon Game, which I have. Of course it does. Yeah, I have history with that game. Mary and the original.
It's a horrible thing. People just stand there and move themselves.
We're gonna try going to it here, Shushu, and you can tell us how much it irritates you if you'd like. Oh, there it is, Melon and Chill.
Oh yeah. I can see even two of my friends now playing it.
Okay, we're gonna go in and we're gonna talk about it. Let's go. See if my headset will yield. Yay! I think it's yielding. Good. Woohoo! Here we are. Did you open a public space, Mary? What? Am I in a public space? Okay. Okay. We're here.
Hey. Okay,
so,
I will say one thing that irritates me.
Yeah.
So many menus, so many distracting things to be like, buy
so
this,
many menus.
buy that.
Yes. And so, Shushu,
too much.
Have you played the game in this world?
No, I would break the machines. No.
Would break the machines. And now we're getting more feedback. Too much foreground versus background.
I have to admit that the person who created this world, it's a big success. It's a very famous Merivio, the name. it's a big success because it's a very famous world in VR chat, and it's just working nicely. So congratulations for this person. He
Yeah.
investing a lot of work here, but it irritates me.
Yeah. It can be both, right? It can be serving its function, but it can also, part of your irritation is the quality of connections with people is missing. They're missing from connecting with you, and they're choosing this
Yeah,
instead of conversation with you and
exactly.
your worlds.
And then, but then I find them, and I come here, and they're so busy in game, and
Funny
you just respond,
faces.
hey, Shushu. I say, what? We haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. Yeah, but I'm playing. And I said, what?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
this
so
is silly.
basically
Does
the
anyone else want to
game.
give it a try?
Oh,
We
yeah.
get the banana controller. I'm taking control. It's okay if
You
anyone else
you
wants to
can
try.
do
I'm never
it.
gonna play it. No, I'm never gonna play. Don't touch it. You will get addicted. Everyone,
I
don't.
kind of already want to keep playing.
So, Shushu, I did get sucked into this game. This was actually the very beginning of kind of my Bridgemaker's
Oh my
journey, and
god.
Mary was there for that, and I was irritated with it, but I also wanted to understand how this could capture people for so many hours. So I let myself.
And what did you understand?
Well, first of all, this is the world where I learned the term grinding. I did not know what that word was until Mary taught it to me.
What's
Mm-hmm,
grinding?
mm-hmm.
So grinding is, looks like
Playing
Mary's typing it.
hardcore for a long time.
Games
Yeah,
rather
Playing
some
what?
interpretation. So it's
Playing
basically.
it's a
what?
game term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mm. Oh, let's see. In games, grinding is a repetitive task. Yes,
Normally to
that's
achieve
basically it.
something, like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, usually to
a
achieve
goal
like
or an item, or
Yeah.
games that will, be designed with the intention of being played for long periods of time, stuff that you are, expected to put in
Mm.
hundreds of hours for, you usually can't make a lot of unique content like back to back to back to back. So usually you're in some sort of gameplay loop that is repeating. And then at
Mm-hmm.
some point, there's an expectation that you will put in an hour, like 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours to get to the next stage where a new thing will happen in the game or
Mm-hmm.
you achieve some sort of
Mm-hmm.
goal. And that's like a grind. You have to go
Mm-hmm.
through a grind where you're like processing and grinding up the game like you're making food, and eventually you get something that comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Sounds
learned.
like drug addiction.
Yeah,
I learned what
it's actually
grinding was, and I
not far
also
off.
learned about the orientation in this space that splits people's energy. So, who decides to play a game here? Who decides to go over to the bed and the cozy stuff? Who decides to go to the living room area? And what kinds of people choose each of those directions? So
Mm-hmm.
that was really interesting to me. What kind of conversations happen in each space, and how do people deal with conflict when they're really just here for themselves with this distraction? How often do they turn and really have a human moment with somebody when there's all these colors and this clickbaitiness pulling them
Mm.
constantly to go do something?
Whoa, what is this thing?
Right.
Yeah. So those were things
And
I
you,
learned. And then eventually I started to buy the upgrades because I played long enough and I
oh
realized
my god,
I'm
really?
I mean, I didn't, no money went into it. You just, if you do enough points, you can then start to change the faces of the fruit. And
nice,
when you're
nice.
grinding, you get
Yep.
bored, right? So changing the faces of the fruit can make it feel like a relief and a joyful thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Right.
fire.
I think they have cute faces for sure. I wish I had teddies of them. I would have teddies of them
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
around with those cute little faces looking at me.
But I would ask people, just this is one of the worlds where I could come into a public instance and not necessarily be attacked repeatedly. So I appreciated that the design does work well enough for that. And I would ask people, how long have you been playing in here? Why do you still play in here? Have you met any friends in here? And
did anyone tell you that your questions are irritating?
Yes, quite often.
Oh.
and they
I'll
would
be the first one to tell you that.
yeah, right. Eventually, if they asked me a question first, then I learned I could ask that question in here, one of those, and just kind of yeah. But what I found was I didn't find
it's like you ask.
Yeah.
It's like asking somebody who drinks, why are you drinking?
Kind of. I mean, many times if I tell people I'm a social scientist, then they're like, "Ooh, I can make some meaning. I can participate in a little bit of research here," and they feel like they can be helpful and they like that. But mostly what I learned in here is that people did not find their friends. They came here to get away from their friends, is what I heard a lot of times.
Interesting.
And that was kind of sad, they didn't even know that, actually. They're like, yeah, no, I have a whole bunch of friends online, but I don't want to spend any time around them. I'm just in here to see if somebody else comes online that I do want to hang out with. And I realized, like, for me, I had learned something useful, and I felt less judgmental for people who like to play clicky games, But I also realized I knew other worlds in here that brought much more meaningful connections and relationships when I found people there. And so I preferred to go hang out in other spaces. And I also believe that part of why this world feels so good to people is because there's so few worlds in social VR where you can really influence the space. And this world gives a sense of control and being able to change. It's like a little bit of fruit art.
I thought we make VR to make a better world. I don't know why people come and do this kind of thing. I mean, they could do, for example, wars in VR. Like if somebody would make VR worlds, like an app, so, Trump and the Iranian people, they can make the worlds in VR and everything would be okay. They don't have to do it in reality. I would design missiles, you can sell missiles.
I don't think it quite hits them the same. They want the real life one.
They need full body haptics.
It would be brilliant. They should make wars
if Shushu tells you Shushu can design a war in VR, pay attention to that, because Shushu is a master craftsman of dark energy. And so that kind of war you have never seen in an immersive space. You might not survive it. It will be that convincing.
Oh, man.
Secretly manipulate code so you always lose the war when you play. It'll discourage them from doing yeah, there you go. Everybody always loses.
That's a good way to prove war is bad.
But it's interesting that you call it dark energy. I always thought it's bright.
It is, but most people don't realize that. That's why they stay away from it. You hold the doorway between extreme darkness and the rebirth of light. And you know that when people lean into that, they will start to feel that flow where they had feared to go their entire life. But in this place, especially, people are running from the darkness. And so it's very hard to lean into it with spaces that you build. So thank you for continuing to persist. And yeah, it's got to be very irritating. When I met Shushu, I got to go to a few of his worlds, and we both had some conversations around how we wished Mark Zuckerberg could see his worlds and understand the depth of shadow and darkness that was possible in our souls, and how to move through that instead of monetize.
I think he won't understand.
Exactly. And then there's a tipping point where we realize, actually, we don't want him to see Shushu's worlds because we don't know what he's going to do with that. So sometimes when people have too much darkness inside of them, it can actually solidify and make them darker humans. And for a while there, Mark seemed like he was moving into a place of growth and understanding how to connect people differently. But ultimately that went away. So we're going to do a checkout. And what's really interesting about this world is how quickly it pulled everybody away from the circle of it. You know, it's a very visually catching thing. Grand is like, I'm winning over here. It's okay. You got your banana, Grand. And there's no circle. Exactly. So this is not a world that is designed for people to face each other and really listen. This is a world that dissipates that attention.
You're right. It's doing exactly the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if Mary would be willing to drop a portal to a certain test world space to.
But I have to. I'm sorry, but I will have. I will have to go to prepare for the storm.
Okay.
You know, there's a big storm coming here, and I have to
Good to
prepare.
meet you.
Yeah.
It was great meeting
A few
you.
of your worlds too.
I know.
Oh, you want to be able to see them because most of them are private.
They're hidden.
Oh.
Shushu, we do
because of the content, they can't become public.
We do this dark kind of hard emotional world top. So I would love when we get to the heavier ones like shame and horror and terror that we have you come back and take us on a tour. Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Good. So we just got a cool little bridge there. That'll be a ticket-only event to see his worlds. My goodness. Be in headset for that.
Wow.
You would have seen where I am now. It's just on the beach in the middle of the night. It's completely dark. There's no one here. And there's there's a caravan, an old caravan, 30 years old. And it looks like a trash, but when you go inside, it's all digital with PC and monitors and VR and blue and red lights. It's just fun, and it has a electricity system that supplies me electricity from the sun and internet, and I'm completely independent. And if I want to make a break, I simply open the door and I walk a few steps and I jump.
You're in paradise. You're in the ultimate touch grass from this realm. That's so wild. So I also imagine that increases the irritation for you to come into a place like this with people playing these kinds of games and then walk out into paradise and go.
No, more to see what kind of themes interest them, how they waste their time in life, that they keep forgetting that life is very short and you have to make something special out of it, and they just come to waste their time on playing some Melon and Chill, for God's sake.
And before we go hopefully to this last world,
I'm sure these kind of people, when they die and when they go to heaven or to hell or whatever, there will be an angel there and tell them, you know what, I'm gonna give you a very special gift, 5 minutes back in life. And they will say, yeah, what do you want to do? And they will come here and play Melon and Chill, I tell you.
Oh, God. 5 more minutes. Imagine if they provide a place like this in heaven. Oh, yeah, you can also distract forever.
It's a phenomenal success of the creator of this world. So bravo.
Yeah.
Really bravo.
I feel you. How do we gamify death, horror, and shame in a way that wakes people up? That's the next question. Okay, well, we'll let you go, Shushu, and then we're going to go check out. And I hope I'll send you a message when we have our next event, so maybe you can come again.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys. Thank you. Enjoy.
Yeah, I'm really glad you came. It was a special treat.
Take care.
Bye.
I know, I got it. I'm going to put this down and never come back when we leave.
Yeah.
It's as long as long as you go through these experiences and choose to be more conscious with yourself through it, it has an exit point.
Yeah, definitely. You can lose, and then you don't have to keep playing.
Well, and I just look for where does it ceiling me out? Where do I start to get hungry for something else? So it's a very good time if you have a published world of fruits to pair that together if you're willing. Maybe. Okay. So we're going to go to a very special world, sneak preview. Uploading for a Android. Oh, thank you. Wait, do we have any questies here? I don't think we do. So you should be able to just drop a portal. I'm not in.
Should help with,
Yeah, so we're good. Go ahead and drop it, and we will go in. So this world is in progress, and you're the first little group to experience it as a group. I know, I saw that, Grant. Yes, so my invitation is, as you go through it, pay attention to what hunger you're filling and what hunger is growing, because it can feel very relational to see all those little fruit blinking back at you. And it can feel like you're always chasing something bigger. Yeah, it's very Candy Crusher. Yeah. Okay, so Mary, you can invite me. Wait, hold on. So you can't drop a portal because it's not. Okay. All right, so I'm friended with all of you. Okay, good. So yeah, go ahead and just go, and then I can invite all of you to this very special world, and we'll do our checkout there. So thinking about what you intended to come in with today, and we're going to do a checkout and kind of notice how we have grown. Okay, I will send y'all an invite. Got Grand, got Fro, and Fight. Oh no. Well, that's fun. And it put me in a public instance. Even more special. Ooh. Let's see. Put me in public instance. Oh, let's try it one more time. Good God. Okay, come on. You can do it. Oh, here we go. View instance. Drop portal. Please. Damn it. No, it's not going to work. Okay. Well, that is not working. And it's not a public world, so we can't make it work. Let's see. We're going to have to go this one. Maybe I'll make this my home. No, I can't do that. Will it load for me? No. Thank you, VR, for glitches that make me grow. I know, Mary keeps inviting me. Third time's the charm. Let's hope. Fourth time. Oh, you are traveling too rapidly. Well, that's special. Oh, now I'm in an error instance. Well, that's even more special. See. Let's see if it works. No. Well, that was a fun plan that totally didn't work. We're gonna just have to go somewhere else. Different liminal. Add to favorites. Make home. I go to a liminal bridge. See if we can get into that. Yeah. Okay. And now I get to invite everybody out of the cool space. No fun. No fun. Okay. I'm going to invite Mary. I'm going to invite Firebee and invite. And I'm going to invite Profidor. And I'm going to invite Grant. Hmm. Hmm. Hello. We're back here.
We're back.
Different kind of liminal. Can you invite Grant? Because I didn't.
Social recently.
I thought they were friended, but I couldn't see them in my friends list. Hello.
Yes. I have to add them.
Can you invite Grant? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so you got to go to a liminal space that I'm not allowed in for the moment, no matter how many invites I got. So we're going to go to a gray liminal bridge to do our checkout. I know, sad face. It was a moment. You got to land in it for a moment and probably feel all excited about that. Hello, welcome back.
I like the music here. It's actually really like liminal. That's definitely the word.
I don't have the music on.
It's somber. Nice and like slow. I don't think it's Silent Hill. It's definitely that one famous song, but slowed down, and then there's the water. It's like the vibe is Silent Hill, yes.
Yeah.
I agree. Wait,
well, we are gonna Silent Hills check in for our checkout, actually. So just noticing one thing that you're taking away that grew you about what was shared today, and ideally attaching it to somebody present who added their vibe, their flavor, their tolerance of unexpected things. This is a way, when we're a smaller group, we don't have to be as formal with the appreciation game, but it's just basically when we go into these experiences, what was our intention? What was our purpose? And when we're leaving them, what are we taking with us? And who gave us that anchor, that memory, that image that makes it more real? So that we don't lose the moment we emerge out of this space. So who would like to share something about irritation or just world hopping? Mary has stood up. You appreciate Tid Grand's share. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That definitely hit me in my core.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. So I appreciated Grand's share in front of the sign about absorbing a lot of the irritation from others. The acknowledgement of that. Yeah, thank you, Grand. There's something about seeing your avatar so silent in that place, and also knowing you already had your voice kind of removed today, and just kind of trying to reach towards you with my heart and going, you are in the work here today. The glitches have forced you to be present with something that maybe you wouldn't have chosen that deeply. Now this is Silent Hell. Did the music change?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Very fitting, though.
It's okay.
It's pleasant.
So, Gran, do you have a appreciation you would like to share, or we can come back to you?
Yeah. The mic breaking is something due. There's good and bad in everything.
So you made it a lot more fruitful, and way to work in a pun when we were just in a fruit world. You're on fire today, Grand. Well done. Yeah. So you appreciate your mic going away. That's right. And this is something I don't feel like I share enough, because I never know how to teach this without feeling like I don't know. It always feels a little off to say this, but one of the greatest wisdoms of my life has been learning how to intentionally swallow an emotion and hold it, not deep, deep down, but just hold it in my core. And like many times they're fiery. They feel really, really uncomfortable. But what they do for my body when I'm holding it on purpose is they grow my roots. So I will want to wiggle away from that feeling. And in order to get away from it, sometimes I have to go into sadness. Sometimes I have to go into just this soft, like, acceptance and be with that core that just doesn't feel okay at all. And what I learned from doing that, learning how to swallow it and hold it, not because I'm afraid, but because I want to hold sacredness in that relationship. I'm being intimate with me, is then I started taking the fun emotions and doing the same thing. And that really changed my life. How do I take joy and excitement and just bring it into the core and let it sit there? And how does it grow me when I hold that quietly? And I don't have to have people see it for it to maintain. It became a really interesting exploration and almost appreciation of cultures that are more quiet on the surface and feel things very deeply. Just learning to be with the silence and imagining there's a lot of emotions present, and how have we earned the trust of naming them whenever we do. But it might not be yet. But we won't get there if I'm tugging on people or I'm pushing on people. I just might need to be with mine. Yeah. Thank you for that. That is letting the glitches deepen you. And that is a deep wisdom of this space. Lovely. Who else? Appreciation.
I remember Mary asked Shu about how does that emotion feel in your body, and all the discussion we've had about where does irritation show up and live, yes, and how to be aware of what we're physically feeling. I can't pinpoint the exact people or the points in the conversations. I remember that we did mention those parts, but I just want to throw appreciation in like a blanket.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, Mary, you probably never, before Bridgemakers, you probably never asked anybody that question in your life. Where does that emotion live in your body, right? Like, and yet when we have permission to be curious that way, My question lives in the hey department of my brain. Yes. When we have permission to say that, and many times if you ask that to an average person, they'll be like, what? Lives in my, what are you talking about, right? It's a seed question. You won't necessarily get an answer the first time. People will zap instead of gifts. They'll be like, ugh. And then you get to say, well, here's where it lives in my body. And whenever I hear the name, I get to check to see if it's flowing differently, because sometimes different environments bring it out different in me. And so I ask you because I'm asking myself, and I'm just sharing that here. And when you named that, Mary, it became not a conversation between hey, you and Shushu. It became a conversation between humans with bodies learning about being humans with emotions. And I saw Shushu actually get excited, like, oh, there's a pulse here. You just asked me something nobody asks me in a disembodied space like this. And so part of how Shushu shared emotions today was actually describing the environment that Shushu lives in, which, by the way, that's the brightest I've ever seen Shushu in years. So Shushu has found some good balance. and Shushu got to really like be given a human moment to describe irritation. So rare when people are very, skilled at technical things and very well known in the world, etc. So few people ask them about their humans. So that was a gift. Thank you for bringing that. I don't know that I would have had I don't think if I'd asked that question it would have worked. But I think coming from not me worked. Lovely. Yeah. Ugh, the politics and the nuances of being the elected power in the room and who gets to ask what. Okay, more appreciations. How have you grown?
Me? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciated the moment where we I shared my response to sitting under the irritation statue and how that made me automatically react and feel. And then our discussion and your question you posed of how have I seen other people handle it, which is like the exact opposite of what I am. So I guess like at the beginning of this, my quest was to become friends with irritation more. So even though I don't think I'm completely there with that yet, I think I maybe found step one because, like what you suggested, instead of shrinking or pushing forward towards my irritation, like instead of shoving it down or trying to question it too much and understand it, I could just sit with it instead. And I could maybe do that for other people too, instead of shrinking or pushing forward. And so that's what I appreciate today.
I feel tingles in my body as you just talked, Firebee, just all the way down my legs and up into my chest. So lovely when you share these ahas. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the silliest idea, but it is the biggest mystery of my life that we are so scared of our emotions. And I just feel like I walk around with this group of grumpy emotions all the time. And I'm just like, oh, worry. We're calling on you right now. Come sit here. Tell me everything. I'm like, oh, shame. Did you jump off the bridge again? Come back up here. We need to talk to you. And yeah, when I saw the movie Inside Out, I was like, it is real. Like, aha. So Inside Out too. Oh yeah. And that whole growing of personality and the core statements we tell ourselves about who we are. When I saw that, I was just like, they did the dot model already. Just everyone watch that movie and you'll understand the O and the T. So
Inside Out.
Yeah, Inside Out is a lovely example of demonstrating relationship inside and the grumpiness that comes when we evolve. the coups and wow, so much drama happened in Inside Out too. So we should watch that in Bridgemakers. It feels like we have a approved list of movies here, and that would be definitely at the top. Yeah, Bridgemakers movie nights. Please join and host those, because we need more people who are hosting interesting things. Okay, so more learning. So did you do your learning? I think you did. Yeah, you did with Mary.
Yeah.
Mary did with Shushu. Or wait, did you do yours? Yeah, you did. You did yours, and you did. Okay, so let me ask myself if I have my learning. What did I learn about irritation? I actually think first of all, seeing all of you get down on the ground when we got to that map, that made my heart flutter like a little butterfly.
Aww.
It just was kind of like, oh, these are their friends too. We know what to do. We're going to go sit at the feet of these beings who are just for a long, long time, and appreciate they're holding something for us. They're our companions. We can be with them. So there's a flutter in that. And then there was a grief, I think, that came up for me, Grand, in seeing you on your knees and knowing just the glitches that you've been enduring, and realizing how alone you might be feeling, and leaning into that. And in physical reality, what you were doing there in the being that you were is something called shadow work. It's where you get your bodies into positions to increase the intensity of the pain, and get more clear on what is the voice underneath that. What is the thing that I would say if I was safe enough to just be this position, this role? And
I love shadow work.
Shadow work is so powerful. And so to realize that the glitches were bringing you into your shadow work was, I just had this very sad gratitude to you, going, the part of me that judges when people are on desktop that they can't drop deeper, got challenged there. And feeling you continue to listen and turn towards people, but you just kept in relationship with our irritation sign person. And that is where these worlds, oh yeah, I'm feeling all your body languages. And and I think that's where VR stops becoming just like a chalkboard and a teaching tool, and it becomes a catalyst. And I have this little bit of hope that if I ever have to recede out of this place more than I already have, if I disappear, maybe these worlds will continue to be a spot for people to deepen into, and learn what they need to learn directly from these containers. So it gave me a bit of hope. So grateful for each of you. We are a small group, bridge makers, but the quality of these moments when they show up are very nutritive to me every time. And that's all I ever could hope for from any human relationships, but that we keep doing this with each other, but also we do this for the world. We're letting the world watch us do this together. And that's a lot harder to do in physical reality and sleep at night because it's very vulnerable what we're talking about. But these masks and the playfulness that we bring to it, and the genuine moment we keep creating together, that is the bridge. We're in it. This is Bridge Makers for today, and it is enough for me. So thank you for being enough with me. And rolling with the glitches. We all get badges for that. Of course. Yes, I don't like to call them sessions because people start thinking therapy. But I will say you're welcome for the adventure. It's okay. There's an adventure we did. And so what we'll do if you're game is we'll take a quick picture together to just, this is our little souvenir. See, maybe that direction actually, because there's no TV screen. We did it off the edge of the bridge last time. I'm glad I had this in my backup list. You've all graduated a month of irritation. Should give you little emoji badges or something. There we go.
Is there not one more irritation week?
That's a good question. Is there more? Sometimes we have 5 weeks in a month. Okay, so I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and you shout out any word that embodies irritation for you, and emojis are a plus. So 3, 2, 1. Glitches. Melons.
Melon and Chill.
Melon and Chill. Shushu. Oh my gosh. So many hearts.
So many large hearts.
Lots of hearts. Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, so
Oops.
I think
Emoji.
Oh, you died. Okay. We killed Furfador. I know. I've never seen the planets on the ground. I feel like I should apologize to the universe or something. Yeah, hang in there, buddy.
Bad, man. This is bad.
Irritation killed the planet guy. So we gotta oil some of your sockets or something. Now I'm just like, what would irritate that avatar? Yeah, so
every time I move.
I don't think we have a 5th event for next week, do we? Or is it the reboot of? Yeah, we don't. Okay.
I don't know why, but I thought this was the 3rd week. But maybe I'm miscounting. We had a week off.
You did yours. So March has 5. Yeah. Started on a Sunday. Yeah. So we'll have 1 week of downtime, and then we'll have potentially a celebration of sorts of if we can get some of our exiting helpers / advisors out to go on their walkabouts, then we'll do a celebration in 2 weeks. And then, yeah, in the meantime, please use the channel on our server. I think it's a whole other game to bring your emotions and your irritation to that channel, because it creates a kind of track record about how we're evolving and thinking about it. And then concern is next up on the menu. We will be serving concern in all kinds of doses. I invite you, Hey, to share the irritation of not being able to join. Oh my God, I know. If you go back and watch the stream, I just am like, and it kept putting me in a Melon and Chill public instance, which was like, that's not healthy. That is not consent behavior to put me in a public Melon and Chill instance. Exactly. I was in Melon Purgatory. That's right. We took a chance on Shushu's Irritation World.
To play that game for the rest of life.
Yes. Start thinking about your concerns and noticing how infectious concern can be. A lot of times when people say they're concerned, they're minimizing what they're really feeling. And so it doesn't feel like a safe emotion because we don't know what actual concern in the beginning is like, which is very mild as an emotion. Usually when people say they're concerned, they're about to give you really bad news about a boundary they're going to set, kind of thing. So be thinking about that. We'll have a new channel release soon on that. And then we just have our regular Bridgemakers events in between. But yeah, I love the journey. Please invite people to come on this journey with us. The more, the grumpier. That's the plus in this scene.
Yes.
Come be grumpy with us. But we're definitely growing emotional fluency in Bridgemakers from this slower route, and I very much appreciate that. I think when we slam through it in 12 weeks, we just like wave at the emotions and we keep going. But this, we're sinking into it. We're storming it up. I'm a little worried about it getting to bigger emotions, and we're gonna spend a month in rage in the middle of winter time. So good luck to us. There may be no bridge left, but we'll build
we'll
with
keep trying.
flying bricks, I guess. Yay. Okay. I'm going to take a body break. I would love to catch up with some of you, and I'm totally wilted for today. It's been a hell of a week. So I'm going to take time. That. Yeah, but it was good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.